Well, hey there, YouTube. It's PD2 Finger, and it's summertime, and summertime means one thing, which is barbecue. So I got a bullet smoker like this, and I'll get the ribs. What I like to do is get the ribs from Aldi's. They're like $2 a pound. I'll put on some of these gloves. I like to use a needle nose, and I'll pull the membrane off. I use a serrated knife and cut these ribs up into little riblets, and then the dry rub is like 3 tablespoons brown sugar, 1.5 paprika. You can use the dark smoky purple paprika or the red, it doesn't matter. The smoked paprika is better though. So it's, yeah, 3 brown sugar, 1.5 paprika, 1.5 salt, 1.5 pepper, and then 1 teaspoon garlic powder, which is a much smaller measurement than a tablespoon. And that recipe there is a basic, but it's really good dry rub, and that'll do 1 whole rack of ribs. So if you're going to do 2, you need to double that. And you can let it sit for 3 hours. You could put them in the fridge. I basically, like today, I did it on the counter. I cut them up. They were still kind of a little frozen. So I ended up putting them in a bowl, run some hot water, and then I just let them sit with the dry rub on it. Now, I like to use this chimney here. You fill up the top, there's a grate in here. You fill up the top with the charcoal, and then you bunch up some newspaper in there. Or if you have some thicker paper, like actually the bag that the charcoal comes in, not the outer layer with the ink. And you don't want to use colored newspaper. You want to use black and white newspaper. And if you have cardboard bits or anything a little bigger, that'll help. But so you light this with one of these fancy barbecue lighters from the dollar store, and then this chimney will flame up in here and catch your grill. You don't have to buy any charcoal lighter if you use this. Now, if you got a fan, something like this, well, you don't want to chop your fingers off. I got some fans like this, and I use that to help push air on this, and this really speeds it up. And I also will put that fan underneath this bullet smoker, like at an angle, and I got a foot switch to turn it on and off. So I look up here, these master built smokers are cheap, and the thermometer that they come with doesn't work. You can get a replacement thermometer for like $5 on eBay or AliExpress and replace it. The thing with these is if it's windy, okay, down here, this is where the charcoal is, and there's a thing of water above it, and then there's 2 racks. I like to have that fan to push a little air, or you can open this hatch up and push a little air and get the thermometer up above 250. It seems like this thing wants to run a little cold, doesn't want to run hot enough, but if you have a little fan, that solves all that. So that's really the tip of this video. Again, I'm not the pit boy, the pit master, the pit. I'm not a pit bro. I'm just a goof, but I've been barbecuing. I gotta tell you, I don't like people who do the gas grill. That's for crackheads and people who like little girls. They don't like women. That's the type of guy that if you meet a guy and they invite you for a barbecue and they got a gas grill and you got like a 15-year-old daughter, you need to get out of there. Now this watering can, this is what you need to fill up the bullet smoker with the water. I've tried all kinds of different vessels. There's this second layer here that you fill up. This is the one that works the best for me. Also, when you dump these coals in there, it's really loud. I'll use an old set of tongs like that to rearrange them, and you want to wear a glove. You don't want to burn your hand. Now there's, again, my bullet smoker has, and you can indirect cook. You can do the same type of thing. Put a pan in there with some water and put the coals around a circle. You can do this on a regular old Weber and then put the meat in the middle. But if you love ribs and you want to really like science ribs, this is how you do it. Just spend the $75, get the bullet smoker, man. We got a cover for ours that we found at the resale store. We chain it up with a bicycle lock and we use this cover, so it's really in good shape. And we clean it up when we're done. Now, one of the tricks you can do is spray this olive oil, or you can take a coffee mug, pour some vegetable oil in it, then fold up a paper towel like a rectangle, and just paint the oil all over your grates. And that way it ensures when you clean this stuff up, it comes clean really easy. Because see, the grates are like porcelain, Teflon treated or something fancy. They're not just metal, so you want to keep those clean. So the ribs, we keep them on for about 4 hours, and with this dry rub, and then like the other thing I kind of forgot to mention was before, like when you're at this stage, when you're doing this, you should get a bowl, like a cereal bowl, and grab 2 handfuls of this. This is like $3 at Walmart for this, and put water in it. Now, after a half hour sitting in the water, you dump the water out, and then that'll help from them burning up real quick and help them smoke a little better, the water. So you put a handful in there after they've been running for an hour. I cook my ribs for about 3 or 4 hours. And with that smoke in there from the hickory, and they've got all different kinds of wood. Trust me, don't mess around with the mesquite or the apple. Just get the hickory. That's really where you want to go. The other woods they're not good. But if you use that hickory smoke and you use this here recipe or any self-respecting dry rub, the ribs are going to be so good that you don't need sauce. Now, I do sauce mine because, it's just me and my old lady. We're empty nesters. So we'll do a rack of ribs. We get that from Aldi's. It's like $10, and we eat on that all week. You can just nuke a baked potato, have a little corn side dish with it. Sometimes we get crazy. We'll do the deep fryer, make French fries. Now, the other recommendation is you can make some biscuits. That does get the kitchen gets hot. But man, those biscuits with honey make a really good side dish. But the really good thing that you want to make with this, that's going to make it go over the top, is homemade coleslaw. Now you can look up Dixie coleslaw recipe or Kentucky Fried Chicken coleslaw recipe or Brown's Chicken. Any one of these clone recipes makes this unbelievable. How do you make that coleslaw? What's in that?
I don't know. The cabbage and corn, carrot.
The sauce though.
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Yeah, but except I use the trick where you put, I think, just either vinegar or lemon juice into the regular milk.
Yeah.
Mix it and let it sit in the fridge. Mayonnaise.
Yeah. A lot of sugar, right?
Some sugar.
Yeah.
And
this coleslaw is
onion or onion powder. I think just use that onion powder.
This coleslaw, I think it's a Kentucky Fried Chicken clone. You can look that up. That coleslaw, like, it's so unbelievably good. And like with this ribs, to have that as a side, oh my goodness. So again, I'm not a pit boy. I'm not a pit boss. I'm not a pit bro. I'm not pit. I don't have a beard. I don't drink IPA. I do use a little fan to accelerate my chimney. I never use lighter fluid. I do use rub. And I got to tell you, these ribs that we make here are incredibly good. So let me know your rib tips, what you have. Like I said, this isn't like, I like wearing the gloves. It's kind of messy, and there'll be a sulfur smell if they're not that fresh. Don't worry about that. They're going to taste fine after they get done on the smoker. And the leftovers are really, they're stellar. The leftovers of this food you won't even know it's leftover. It's that good. And that's where the sauce comes in. If you sauce it up, it's gonna, and then it's smoked on top of it. That's the best way to preserve food. So this is a really good way to not be heating up your kitchen so much. You want to warm it up, and you could do it in the microwave too. This is something, meat in the microwave is not the worst thing. Bread is bad in the microwave. Anyway, like I said, I'm not a pit bro. I don't consider myself a barbecue aficionado, but I have kind of scienced this and got this down to where we can do it reasonably. Our grill is clean because have you ever been to somebody's house for a barbecue and they're drinking a lot and they're just like, at the end of the night, they just leave everything? Like, you got to wonder, like, oh my God, I just ate on this grill that he probably just left all of that stuff from the last time. It's not really sanitary. So the idea with like using the oil trick is good because then when you clean it up, it's a lot easier to get the grill clean, and it's just more sanitary all around. So that's my barbecue tips for you guys. If you got barbecue tips for me, I'd love to learn some more. I'm certainly not saying I've arrived at some barbecue pinnacle. I win a contest or anything. I just really like cheap food that's good, and this stuff fits the bill. It's like $2 a pound, and I'll tell you what, I eat 2 of those ribs with a little fries, some corn, and some of that coleslaw, and I'm happier than the King of Sweden. Especially if I got a bowl of Hudsonville coconut ice cream for dessert. All right, you guys, try to stay cool. Try to be nice. Don't make comments in people's YouTube video that's going to hurt their feelings and then flip out on them if they say they don't like when people say that. Hug your pets, and peace.